Hi there, today let's talk about the so-called David Bowie Berlin Trilogy. One, there is no Berlin Trilogy, and two, how it tells us something about the way Bowie was able to reframe his past and reinvent himself for the public. So, as most people know, the Berlin Trilogy is supposed to encompass Low, Heroes, and Ledger. Why is there no Berlin Trilogy? Well, first, the Berlin part. It's pretty well known that this so-called trilogy wasn't recorded in Berlin all the way through, far from it. Low was recorded mostly in France at Château d'Hérouville and then relocated to Berlin for the last part, mostly overdubs. Most of the record had already been laid down to tape. Ledger was recorded in Switzerland and finished off in New York. Now, geographically speaking, the only project truly related to Berlin is Heroes. It was recorded in Berlin from start to finish. Now, second point, it's not really a trilogy in the sense that if you want to really classify these albums, the most logical way would be to put these two together, Low and Heroes, and these two together, Scary Monsters and Ledger. Because musically, there is a lot of common ground on Low and Heroes, which share the same overall structure, with a side A dedicated to fragmented experimental pop songs, and side B ambient, mostly instrumental work in collaboration with Brian Eno, of course. On the other hand, Ledger is an songs-oriented album, just like Scary Monsters, but in a very experimental way. These are more classic song structures with very inventive and avant-garde experimentation as far as production and arrangements go. Also, if we look at the album in a thematical way, Heroes is the only one which is connected to Berlin. Of course, there's the Heroes title song. There are tracks like Neukölln, there are tracks like Vitu Schneider, which is a reference to Florian Schneider from Kraftwerk, of course. Bowie was very interested in that European scene at the time, even though he would go to great lengths to say that his work was very different from Kraftwerk, because at its heart was a more rock rhythmic section with drums and bass. Even though the drums would be very heavily treated, it was still in his mind a more conventional soul impulsed style of rhythm, instead of the very robotic drum machine led sound of Kraftwerk. Now, this is a point that I think is interesting about Bowie, because it wasn't really the first time that he would use language to influence and reframe and reinvent what he was about. If you think about the Pin-Ups album, when it was out, Bowie would say that those were the songs from his youth, from his childhood, that he wanted to cover. This was, of course, complete bullshit, because these aren't the songs from his childhood. When those songs that he's covering were around, he was already a musician, and mostly a pro musician, like songs by The Who. The Who were pretty much competitors of his at the time, but they were successful and he wasn't. It's especially true with See Emily Play. When Pink Floyd released this song, Bowie was already a solo musician trying to make his way up. Saying that these were his childhood memories and songs from his youth was just a way to pretty much eradicate his past prior to, let's say, Space Oddity, and make everyone believe that he started with Space Oddity and Man Who Sold the World, but before that it was like his youth. It wasn't really his youth, it's just that at this point he was pretty much, I think, embarrassed by his first album with very corny musical kitsch stuff. Anyway, that's it for today. Please consider a like and subscribe. See you.